Let's turn the over. There we go. Hey, look at that. Cooking with the gasoline by gum. Okay. A few days, that's for sure. Alright. Hi, my name is Christopher. And it's Tuesday. And you know what that means. It's the same as it means any other day. I'm working in the studio. I should have mentioned in the text for today's stream is that I've got a little bit of a craft haul and a little bit of a supply haul. Some fun things developing in the studio space. I'm in the process of hooking up a new piece of doodadery, and I've got some fun new little bits of studio business to try out. And so, you know, it's been really challenging lately, and really challenging is just what it is. And you gotta keep doing what you're doing. There's not a lot you can really, you know, life gives you interesting paths, and you just gotta sort of do your best to meander along them. But lately it's been a lot, and so we're back on track. And in the process of getting back on track, I put out the new book. And so the new book is it's called Alphabet Book, and it's on Amazon now. I'm pretty happy about it. It's good feelings. So we've been working hard at it and trying to get it all finished and all ready. And you know, it's come together. But like I say, it was a bit of a process, right? So everybody's saying hi everybody. So here's the finished cover for the book. And so this is what is on Amazon now. And so it's just a bunch of new art, a bunch of original art that I haven't posted up on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. Hiya, Linda. Hiya, Zuni. Welcome aboard. Yeah, thanks for coming out, gang. Sorry I've been away. But there's a result as the new one page is in the process now. But in the meantime, you get Alphabet Book to take a look at. So it's the same size as one page. There's the doodad. It's the same size as this, and you know, it's the exact same size, 78 pages. It's also a hardcover, same price, and yeah, you know, and I'll figure out some sort of thank you for folks there. And I'm finally getting paid for the books. The thing about working through Amazon is that you don't get paid right away. Like, it's not like immediate money or anything like that, but it's not too far behind. So at the point now, the sales are starting to finally show, and you know, it's a different feeling, that's for sure. This isn't a book that's making $1 million. This is a book that's I put it out there so that people could have that for themselves, you know, and you know, that way the whatever efforts have been made to do the book is able to be shared with people now. And I'm old enough, and I'm sure a lot of people are also old enough to, you know, when you want to have a tactile thing in your hands. I'm not a digital world guy, that's for sure. Just me. Hi, Susanna. Welcome aboard. Okay, so I've posted also today. Today's number 23. This is a decade ago. I never thought I would be at 23 on the verge of spontaneous combustion. Woe is me. I guess it comes with the territory. It's this is a Incubus song from the 90s. I just like the way that they write. So, but it works for 23. So here is the page that I posted for today. This is the page that I'd start. The last time I did a stream, I started on this page, and so here it is, finished up. I did it all on a 11 by 17 sheet straight on, using this guy and his cousin, this guy. It's a water-based chisel tip marker and a blue ballpoint pen. And so, yeah, so it's kind of nice. This is one of those pages when you're finished the page, it's artifact, right? Like it's not like a bunch of different pieces of paper that have been put together for something. It's like here's one flat, straight on page that you've done really next to nothing to other than adding some text in that to put it out there. So it's kind of a nice. Hiya, Jim. Welcome aboard. Linda says congratulations on finishing that one. Why? Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for all your support. So we got a format for the books, for the way that we put out RP books, on Amazon here. So there's that cover, and here is the cover of the oops, that's the wrong one. Here's the cover of the previous book, and so you'll see how they really are the same process. So it's the same kind of layout, the same structure for everything. It's just one's red, the other one's blue, and so the next one page will also have the red motif to it as well, just to keep it consistent. I don't think there'll be another alphabet book. I am working on, however, multi-page story extravaganza. So that's because I have enough pages to do that now. So that's, So there's a bunch of stacks in my studio here that you might have seen in the studio tour video that I did recently. And those stacks are books that are in the works. So my intention is to have the third one out by next month. And there we go. Away we go. So maybe a fourth one by the end of the year. We'll see. But it's finally collecting stuff that I've been doing, and it's all feel-goodery. You know what I mean, kids? So, okay, the other thing that I've done this week is there's the White Apes, there's the Postcard 23, and then this is only on Patreon. This is Darkness Is, and so this is another one. I'm putting a bunch of pages on Patreon in the next few days, catching up because I've been away. So, yada-da-da-do. So that's all that fun in the sun. I also I'll show you something really fun, because I'm going to show you some of the craft supplies that I picked up. I haven't hooked this up yet, but this is one of the things that I got for myself, is an ergonomic keyboard, and so it's raised up in the middle, and it looks like a Cylon ship from Battlestar Galactica. Anyways, so it's raised up in the middle, so it'll be good for my hands because of I got lousy hands, so that I can type like so. Challenge is that I always type like that. With my hands, I actually move my big, broad span fingers across the keyboard. And, you can't do that here, so it's going to make me type better. So I got that. I also got a couple of other things. This is, I'm missing something. Jim says, Chris, you're a well-oiled bookmaking machine. I don't know who does the oiling, but they're doing a great job. Thanks, Jim. Jim says, congrats, that's nice, yeah. So here is, it's a Trodat. This is an ink for, it's for stamp pads, I believe, okay? But it's a water-based red ink, and the only red ink that I have is so diluted, and it only has ever come out as a pink stain for paper. So what's going to be nice about this is that it's a really, really solid red. I'm going to risk opening it, the top, so you can see that big bubbly bit of ink there. And hopefully I haven't got it all over my hands. The other things that I picked up, and again, these were $1. So it was a clearance. There's a store in St. Thomas, Ontario, which is about 40 minutes outside of London. And there's a store that So supplies, and so we took a bunch of shredding there, and found this dollar clearance table, and that's where I got that keyboard and these other supplies. The other things that I got are an original stamp. So I'm going to try to do something with this. I think that what I'm going to do is figure out ways to incorporate this into some images. Let me see if I can do something with this again. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this yet. It's I thought I'd just try this out right now. Yes, I realize that this is not what this was intended for. There's little buttons on the side that have just locked in. There we go. Okay, so that's the first stamp, and it's very original, this stamp. And then the second stamp is, approved! It says at the bottom. But what's fun is that this is a solid, the original is solid letters, and the approved is nice, I don't know what you call that, but the outlined letters. And so, it can use one as a lighter value than the other. Anyways, there we go. It's an approved original. So, yeah. Anyhow. Let's see what we can do with that. So I'm just trying different things, and the fun thing about buying whatever rando supplies is that it sort of allows you to see what you can do when you experiment with those. Is there some capabilities with this that is going to enable you to have some sort of new storytelling approach? And, what could that be? Anyways, great hair. So that's. So I thought I'd try something with these. I'll play with this a little bit more. I don't know how exciting this is for people, but the trick is, Uh-oh. Ah! 1-0. Push it in when it falls in. I just realized this now, the secret to it. Let's try that other one. So I don't know how much regular use I'll get out of these, and I'm sure it's probably really noisy while I'm doing this, and I'm sorry for that, but it's just something I wanted to try. See if it's if there's something to this idea. So I think so. I think that there's potential here. Let's see. Let's come back in with this. Okay, there's our new original guy. Linda says it looks fun. Just trying something out and seeing how that goes. Anyways, I couldn't believe I got these for $1, and that they still have ink in them, because these are probably, I don't know how many years old, and it's great. The Shiny Printer Series 842. So that's one more little bit of fun for the arsenal there. Anyhow, the initial thinking of when I got these was I'm going to put stamp original on the back of, and then sign it on the back of, so when people are buying originals from me, they know it's stamped original. That's the idea. So I'll throw that over there. Let's see what we got. Show us what you got. Got a big old stack. Different card stocks. So I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to get some more things done. One page 2 is in the same format as one page 1 that I'm working on. It's the same thing where I show what the suggestion was, I show what the thinking was, and I show what some of the original art on it as well on the side. So it'll be in that same format, whereas alphabet book is just the image and then the letter of the alphabet and the title. So the whole idea of alphabet book is something to do with the phrase or a word that includes the key letter of that has the specific letter of the alphabet we're dealing with, like A, the architect, right? A, airplane, H, having a ball, right? Just so that's all ready to rock. I've shown some of the pages on here recently on a stream, so feel free to find that one. I'm sorry, I can't tell you off the top of my head which one it was, but that stream will have a bunch of pages. I think the majority of the pages that are in this new book. So I got some different bits of really nice paper that I thought we might do something with today. Now I got a couple choices. I've got white, I've got black. I'm good as gold to go either way with drawing today's thing. If it's on this nice black rag paper or this really nice soft bouncy white rag paper. Woo-woo! Let's use that. Go to me. Yeah. Okay, so this is old paper, and it's interesting how many years I've had this. That it's sort of aged a tiny bit. Let's see what we got in nearby tools. Oh, let's try pencil. Let's just do pencil today. What kind of pencil, Chris? Boy, am I glad you asked. I know that's not what you sound like. I'm just being silly. Linda says, I received the envelope with the drawing and zines. Thank you. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, Linda. And I hope everybody that sent your photo in holding up a copy of the book, I hope that you've got yours now, because we sent out a whole bunch of them. And, I haven't received any new photos with people holding the book up yet. But I've got a bunch of those still ready to send out. Little appreciations. So, all right. I don't know why I'm shepherding the white one, but let's do this. Let's do this. I've got the magic book out, and let's just pick something. The conspiracy ones were a lot of fun. They really were, and so I've had a good amount of time to do those, because there was so many that came in. I would just sort of meter them all out, and in the course of metering them all out, we've now, I think, ended up doing about 20 of them at this point now. But that's a lot to do with last year. We did 358 pages, and this year we're already at 216. I had to look it up. It's because somebody keeps oiling my machine. That's what Jim says. Okay, so yeah, let's. I'm just flipping through the book and seeing if I keep reading ones that have check marks on them, which is not helping at all. Those that don't know, the book is check marks and no check marks. See, there's one that should have a check mark on it. So silly. Okay. Okay, here's one from our good friend Chris. A sailor comes back with a pet monster found at sea. So as usual, folks, if you've got one-page ideas, this fly is driving me crazy. If you've got one-page story ideas, or a couple of word prompts, or just a sentence, or one line of dialogue, whatever it is, if you feel like putting that in the chat during a live stream, or in the comments of any of the videos, or any of the posts that I put out there, then we'll do it as a one-page. And I've got a link tree now that shows all the links to everything, but on there is the Patreon, where I show all the original drawings and artwork of stuff whenever I can. Some of it is just so I'll do it digitally, and it's hard to show original art when it's the digital art. So just erasing the outside edge of this rag paper, trying to give us a nice smooth outside exterior edge there. So today's suggestion is, let me get it again. Sailor comes back with a pet monster found at sea. And if any of the moderators want to write that down. Sailor comes back with a pet monster found at sea. And that's from Chris. Our good friend Chris K. Oh my gosh. So I also have another monitor again in the studio, and so I've got to get used to everything being laid out very, very differently. Okay, well, let's just start drawing some. So I'm working in graphite. So I've just got 2 pencils. This is a complete stick of lead, and it has a lacquered silver edge on the outside of it. And these are really fun to draw with. They generally, depending on, unless you're getting a set of them and unless they're listed otherwise, they tend to be 2B. Sometimes they're not 2B. Well, it's a real question whether they're one or the other. Sometimes they're HB. And then this is your standard pencil. Today's thank you, Linda. That's super cool, super keen. Okay, so let's just draw. Why don't we try using our glasses? So that little stamping thing is fun. I think that we're going to try to do some more with that. Because even if you're just like throwing in some of these elements here, like so, like if you were to take, sorry, I'll get back to today's thing in a second, but if you were to take, put these stamps down, let's see how this works. Yeah, see, with more and more application to it, it gets darker, but you can start to get a whole bunch more differentiation in the value. I like this a lot, this process, and I think we might try something more with it. Yeah, so I'm wondering if... Bear with me for a second, folks. I'm wondering if I was to take... I got the paint brush for the paint. The brush for the paint. This is actually a white ink. Oh, see there? There we go. Now I can come in and cut in some little bits of detail here and there, you know, just little white hits of value to just tighten up some of those lines back in. Or it's tricky because this the ink is very easily washable. You already hear, folks. Hey, who knows all the good words? Not this guy. The point is that you can do a little bit of fine tuning. I don't know if anybody at home has got some stamps like this. Maybe try this. Play with this a little bit and see if there's some fun in the sun for you to have with that. This person looks unhappy. So, all right, let's do today's one page. So I'm just gonna clean my brush first. All right. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna do a drawing to start off with. I want to try a couple different things today. I've got a drawing that I started doodling in the van. This is one of these many of the unfinished one-page stories that I have. So I'm going to bring this up because the white. So this is a piece of plastic that I've drawn on with a Fudenosuke pen, and then I used a ballpoint to put in some more complexity to it. And then I took a white Jelly Roll pen and I would put some down on the surface and then immediately tamp it with my fingertip to diffuse the value of it. Like to just diffuse its impact and spread it a little bit and give it a little bit of texture with the fingerprinting. And then I came in after that with a little piece of graphite and just a regular old pencil. And added some fun stuff to it. I like this kind of application, and so maybe what I'll try with today's illustration is that we're gonna push the boundaries a little bit here on our drawing. So I'm just gonna use Street Up Graphic. I'll jump to the zoom to make it life easier for everyone.
Hey, what are you drawing there, fella? What, you got to show us the paper? Yes, I turned into the stream where the guy was drawing. Oh, what did he draw? I don't know. He kept even the paper off the screen. What do you do that for? I don't know. He's different.
I thought I'd save everybody those conversations. Curious if people are working on stuff, what they're working on. If anybody's got anything that they want to tell each other about, you're always welcome to do so here. I say this, and it's worked out fairly well because I've yet to have anybody who just comes in and spams their stuff. Largely because I think I will hunt those people down. I will hunt them down and I will tickle them. That's not what I meant. That's not very threatening. Linda says, the alphabet guy knows all the good words. An alphabet book, one of the pages is called verisimilitude. Good luck. What's with them fancy words, Jack? So I'm just softening up the pencil as I put it down and just smudging it out a little bit. I just because I kind of like that, you know. I'll come through with his teeth. His teeth are good because of his choosing. No, I'm sorry, his chewing. I know it's one or the other. So then the other fun thing is that you can come in after doing that and pull out little, if you smudge an area, and then you come in with an eraser and you pull back on that a little bit and put in a white patch, and you get all kinds of fun little texturous bits here and there. And then if you come in again with your pencil and you give a little more pressure in certain spots and put those emphasis points down, then it starts to give more form. You want to tamp down the intensity of a mark you've made, you can use the eraser like that. And I like drawing in pencil too. So I did something silly in the last couple of days, is that I looked up a bunch of artists that I've known, like that I grew up with, and tried to see where people were now. And found out one of them is a dentist. A dentist. It's funny. One person I knew was really aggressive creatively. About 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and now I don't know where they are. They've just disappeared. And I don't even know if they're still in the city or if they're still with us, because as you get older, people pass away. But they were very intensely career-oriented for being a professional full-time artist, and they haven't posted anything since 2006. So, it makes one worry, right? Are they well? And you'd think you would have heard something, since many of the same people. But no such thing. It's sad that when you lose track of people, but it also sort of says something about creative journeys too. Because there's the great ideas that people have about if you want to be a professional artist, and then they hang their hat on that. Like, this is the thing that I want to be, the professional artist guy. And unfortunately, that not only is that something that you've really got to be intensely applying yourself to, but it's also hard to hold on to that. And it's also hard to maintain that objective goal and not get sidetracked by you don't want to be sidetracked by life, sure, but you're going to be, because that's what life does for us. It says, hey, I think you'd be happier doing this, and you go, hey, I think I'd be happier doing that, and you go and do it. And that's a gift, that's a blessing, because then we find more fulfillment in our existence. But to sit and just focus entirely on being an artist is a very challenging thing. And I've said this before during streams, is that I think to be a big successful artist is a bit greedy. Because oftentimes it doesn't come about without sacrificing. And it's not always necessarily your sacrifice too, is that sometimes in order to have that successful art career where I want to be that recognized name, I want to be the next Piccolo Casanova or something like that. I think his name is something like that. And who would get really blue periods. But that's challenging. I mean, and the challenge is that it makes you have a hard time with your familial relationships, because in order to have this, really developed career where you're exhibiting XYZ and you're producing XYZ work, you got to really be able to focus on that and draw that from within, and spend some time wrestling out how to do it and creating it and promoting it, and getting just fully pushing into it, like you're gonna do exhibitions and things like that. It's one thing to have some level of accommodation that people are going to assist you on that. It's another thing entirely to just try to do that on your own. And so that takes all that time, and it takes all that diligence and patience and effort. And oftentimes people that have get lost fly. I don't know how it even found its way down to my studio. Oftentimes I find that you'll find a lot of these people that have these big successful careers is because they have some measure of accommodation, that allows them the time, the backing, the access to materials, and the affordance of knowing enough people to support and purchase the work. And it's the hustle and flow, but sometimes that hustle and flow starts from a place of opportunity that others might not have. And usually you'll find that people that are successful historically in the art world have always got somebody else backing them. I said that before, and somebody said, yeah, well, what about Van Gogh? And I'm like, maybe the worst example. I mean, Van Gogh was his life was entirely afforded by Theo, and before Theo was their parents. So, Van Gogh's a guy who had the ability to try all that stuff that he did with paint and things like that because somebody else was footing the bill, and so. But you can do it without having all that accommodation. It's just you're going to have to hustle, and that's fine. I mean, that's completely understandable. You're going to hustle anyways, but hustle twice as much because you don't know folks, and you've got to make yourself known, and you've got to get people to look at your work, and you've got to get your stuff accepted into exhibitions, or if you're looking to do book work, and you got to get your stuff into print, or in front of people that can see what you're able to do, so that maybe they'll hire you to do some stuff to go into print. And hustle, hustle, hustle. I'm excited. In September we've got Bill Plimpton coming to London, and he'll be doing a talk about how to become successful as an independent animator. And I'm looking forward to that, because I think that's wonderful information for especially a person of Bill Plimpton's tenure to pass on to others. So what a gift that will be. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to spending an evening enjoying that. So, and then I'll be letting anybody I know that's relatively close now. So if they want to come, they're very welcome to do so. So this is just drawing the face of a sailor. And today's suggestion, Linda wrote it down, as sailor comes back from sea with a pet monster. But I'm going to draw this, however I feel in the moment, primarily in graphite it seems. But I'm just putting together our introductory panel. And I thought I'd just use these pieces of paper as panels, because they're not very big sheets of paper. I mean, they're smaller, well, my Gorilla Mids. But so I thought I'd just draw them out this way. I really like these pencil erasers. They're so cool, and they look like brushes. In the words of Tony Curtis, they're all right, kids, and they do a great job. Tony Bennett. That was Tony Bennett. What did I say? Tony Curtis? Good heavens. I gotta give back my membership to the Tony Bennett fan club. Just joshing you. They'll say, hey kid, keep it. We like you. Bunch of cool cats in that fan club. Yeah. Alright, so here's our sailor coming together. I got a dirty fingertip, as per usual. And then, so I thought one of the things I might do is take this portrait of our guy, and as I'm getting closer to its completion, I thought that I might merge the monster image on the drawing itself. So we're gonna try something today. Besides the whole doing a portrait and stamping. I should do the entire stream doing my really bad Tony Bennett impression. Alright, we got a pencil. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna make some marks. Okay. I can let people weigh in on whether or not I should do that. I'll dress up like I should do that one day. I'll dress up as Tony Bennett. Put on a good bouffant wig instead of my balding forehead. And just do the entire stream as Tony Bennett. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to draw some art. Okay, come on. And I'll keep breaking the song. Pencil, pick up your pencil, Jack. How can that go wrong? How can that go wrong? And then for the people that listen while they're at work, every now and then I'll just bust into, are you paying attention to your job? Baby. So bad. So bad. Be serious about your art. Get some glue. Yep. Glue some paper over your mistakes. Like I did in San Francisco. I'm just making things up at this point. I've lost my marbles, clearly. The best part of this is that if anyone under a certain age would listen to this and they'd be like, who in the world is Tony Bennett? And why is this guy doing this? Wait a minute. Is that the old guy that sang with Lady Gaga? Alright, well maybe Lady Gaga sang with him. So here's our face coming in, and all I've been using is a HB pencil so far. I tend to come at things really light, and then over the course of a drawing, I'll actually press darker as I go. And so that gives me a better control of the values that I'm putting down. It's a skill I learned at the back of the bus. Maybe that should be my shtick. Maybe my whole shtick should be telling all kinds of stories on the road that didn't really happen. Whoa, so somebody said the other day, hey Chris, can you draw an ostrich? And I said, draw one. I ate one time. It was at the Baltimore Zoo. Yeah, see, it's just... People say, you can't eat ostriches at the Baltimore Zoo. Not anymore! That's so dumb. I don't like that line right there. I don't like it. Somebody commented on a stream recently that they had never seen me use erasers, and I'm like, give it some time, kids. Everybody uses erasers. So if you do end up picking that copy of Alphabet Book up, if you wouldn't mind leaving a lovely review. Hey, I like this book. It tastes great, and it's good for holding up the end of my lopsided couch. Okay. Or whatever else you might come up with. You know, that's why I'm not allowed to write reviews. I've been reading this while on the John. I've had an upset tummy all week, so I got through most of the book and I loved it. That's not a helpful review. Also, this is an helpful review. This guy owes me $5. You can't, that doesn't, yeah, no, that's not. That's not being helpful.
Chris.
Just reading the comments or seeing if I missed anything. Just this one that keeps saying, Chris, you're crazy, but that might be me projecting. So when I'm drawing in pencil, I tend to be looking for all the different planes in the face. And what I mean by that is when you, hey, here's a piece of paper, you're going to use you, kid. When you have a nose, people often think it's triangular shape, but the side of your oval, pardon me, and it's not. You got to make some chops in it. Like you got to put a chop there, and then you want to put that chop underneath. But you want to divot inside here a little bit. You want to divot inside there a little bit. Like the more that you little really wide edge circle, but the more that you allow yourself to chop things up into these little planes, then the more that you'll get more and more information in there. But the nose isn't just this, right? It's the same as the front view. You know, people will do this sometimes, or the other one is they'll do this sometimes. I've been seeing this a lot lately, where it's just this sort of divot, and it's actually that combination of the two. So there's your nose that comes around and divots, flats, divots, you know, and then meets itself out the center like so. So it's just sort of an experiment with how to to draw that. But then that, by extension, goes across the entirety of the face. So you're really trying to find all of these surface modulation, modulations, I guess, is a good way to express it. So the face isn't just, a circle with pointy nose and oval eye, flat mouth. Maybe you get the divot under the chin. You can sit down, and this is a fun way, by the way, if you want to draw robots, is to look at your own face in the mirror and then hyper attenuate everything. And so what I mean by that is overemphasize every small little feature, so that what it's actually giving you is a way for you to look at the face as flat planes and all of these sort of shapes that give us the structure of a face. And so the more that we think about this as opposed to this, as opposed to this, as opposed to that, and we really look at an image of ourselves, is a good way to do this, and then push everything to the extreme. So if you've got a little raised area right here in your face, under your cheek, you're going to look at it and go, well, it actually comes, the planes are actually like this as it sits, under the eye, and there's this raised cheek area, and then there's this sort of, all these different separate planes coming together, and this one would go that way, this one goes that way, this one's sort of dropping down, this one's tucking in this way, and so the more that you look at the face and you break it up like this, so that, before you even get into drawing the nose, but the more that you apply yourself in this way to all these different parts of your face, you get a better understanding of it. And then, having said better understanding, you can start to draw whoever doing whatever. But it's just, and then eventually you start eliminating those lines, and you start thinking about how, the skin rolls over the cheekbone and down the side of the face. How it moves in this sort of a pattern. How it moves in this sort of a pattern. How the eye sits, you can go around the surface of your face and recognize what parts stick out and what parts don't. And so all of that exploration, which, this makes you look really cool in public, so don't do this at a cafe. People will be like, oh, weirdo over there comes in and feels his face every day and then scribbles in a book. What you're doing is you're giving yourself the chance to look for how your own anatomy works, and then by that understanding you can start to figure out how it is in drawing other faces. Visual examining of things is very key. It really does let you have a much more fully stocked filing desk. I'm looking for a random way to use this, to put this together. You want to keep a really fully stocked filing desk full of the sort of little tricks of interpreting through your visual language the things that you see and want to say. So, and then understanding the planes of your face, and eventually understanding, the different shapes of your face as you're angry and happy. And another thing people will do is take photos of themselves going, A, B, C, and the shapes their mouth makes when they're talking, or so that they can illustrate that more clearly. There's the best example of really coming to know how to paint and draw faces from exploration and study is, of course, Rembrandt van Rijn, because he did about 200 self-portraits. And bearing in mind, all these materials cost money, so he's spending a lot of money on research, basically, right? You can see how his features change over time. You can see how his body changes as he gains weight, as he gets older. There's so many different little things that you come to an understanding of through studying his portrait work. But then you see beautiful things like the Night Watch, and that absolutely stellar, magnificent painting that they figured out another 8 inches on the side of, that was cut away from it. From some of the studies that were explored of it, they've been able to recreate the fact that the canvas was cut down because of mold, and to be able to fit it through a door, is my understanding. Those 2 reasons. So they cut about 8 inches off the one side. And so people that did these studies before that happened have this additional material on the side of that, of their drawing or painting study of the original. And what's neat about that is that now we can recreate that. And a big project went underway to do just that. You can see there's a couple of different documentaries about it online, and some videos of it. That. So one of the things I often wrestle with in trying to figure out how to draw myself is because of my size. I have a very broad neck, and I have a very full features, and so my chin, I give it a little more definition with the chin whiskers, but it tends to have this. I have this large, the size of the palm of my head, space I can fit right here on my neck underneath my chin. It goes from my chin to my Adam's apple. And so when I'm drawing people like in this image here, one of the things, once I really started coming to understand that, is that I would draw this lower part of the face blending into the neck, so that I know that this area is under the chin. And then it just becomes a case of finding out where's the largest focus of shadow there. But by having this little defined line that connects up along the side of the face, I think it gives more volume, more depth in that area here, and more volume in the face, more dimension, I think is the word I'm actually looking for. Or like on this cheek, if I take this graphite and go over lightly on the cheek, and then I come in here, not only do I want to tone it down around, but I want to put this nice flat, circle of erasing there on the cheek, just to give it some sort of highlight. So now when you look at the image, you see this sort of little void. And you go, oh, that's where the cheekbone is. So I'm drawing our sailor in. His face looks very, very chunky right now, but that's because I haven't drawn out this side of the face. I've got some marks to tighten in, like so. A little more dark to them that give him a little more pointed shape, angular shape. And so as I do that, he'll become less and less thick. It's the word I'm going with. So hopefully that helps to start to define that a little more clearly. Same pencil still. You can get a nice range of values using the same pencil. Look into my eye, not around my eye, look directly into my eye. You're in the room. Just hypnotized you, didn't even see it. When somebody says milk, you're going to bark. You're back in the room. No. So I'm going to give our fella here some big ears. Here we go. Pull out a little bit. In total, what just happened? Well, there we go. Okay, so there's here's the start of the face as it's coming together, and then see in this section is where I put in the neckline, and you can see the face already start to thin up now. Exciting stuff, huh? YouTube is saying that there's not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, I hope it holds on, and if it doesn't, I apologize, folks. Come on, YouTube. Stay on target. Yeah. I'll pull back in again. So then there's the ear. And of course the hair. We'll get to that. You got to find your own comfortable way that works for you when drawing with any specific tool. Some people like to map everything out. Some people like to graph out a surface before they draw on it. Some people like me like to just go for it and have questionable perspective and proportions, but that's, you know, so I gotta get a little line in here. Sorry, I was just noticing something. There we go. Just to more clearly defining this lip and the eye. There, that's coming together. Let's back up and take a look at that. Kind of looks like his tongue is sticking out from far. So now I'm just putting in some of these details. So today's suggestion, Linda wrote it down, and that is sailor comes back from the sea with a pet monster. So I've got our sailor coming in, and I'll put him in a sailor's shirt with the stripes and the business, and then we'll get into what his monster might be. And so I'm just going to do these drawings in pencil today on this rag paper and see how that comes together. But I have a walloper of a headache, which is why I'm having a hard time with my consistent thoughts today. So I think I'm going to wrap up early, folks. I'll get a bunch more things posted and put on Patreon. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and hanging out. I'll be back again this week, again on schedule, so 2 p.m. EST. And we'll be showcasing a bunch of new stuff and incorporating those in the stream and having some fun. But in the meantime, go out and make something. Thanks very much, everybody. That's it for me. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.